Good evening, folks. Good evening. This is Manny the Magoo. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and this is going to be my Sunday, March 14th watch list for the week. I've identified 7 stocks for this week that I believe have the potential to break out, but again, until they break those certain areas that I'm going to be mentioning in this video, I don't recommend taking the trade, okay? We had a great week last week, thank goodness. A lot of stocks that we were watching did rebound nicely. For those of you who got in, congratulations. And again, this is a new week, so let's just get started. I want to get this out there as quickly as possible before the bell rings tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. So, first stock on our watch list, of course, is definitely going to be NIO, NIO. I'm really liking NIO right now. As you can see, these, oh, by the way, folks, these are weekly candles. For those of you that are new to the channel, I am a price action trader. I like to identify my weekly candle highs and lows. I also like to identify my monthly candle highs and lows. And basically what I do is I play the break. I don't wait for moving averages. I don't wait for MACDs. I don't wait for stochastics. I'm a price action trader, so when they break, I clearly identify the area that I would take the trade in and know that that area then becomes the support. So this is a weekly chart on NIO, NIO, and this green bar here, as you can see, is last week's candle. We have a high of 46.16 and a low of 34.90, okay? Now the yellow lines that you see here that I've identified on the screen, these yellow lines are the NIO's previous month's high and low. So this is a monthly chart. This is the previous month, which is February. February low was 41.66 and the high was 64.60. Okay, so I keep those yellow lines on my charts for the duration of the new month. Okay, so for the month of March, my February high and low lines will always be on there, okay? So, let's go to a daily chart. So here you have it. NIO had a tremendous amount of support in this area. If you've taken a look at the video I posted, I believe it was about 2 weeks ago on NIO, I told people not to panic. Obviously, the sell-off, everyone panics when there's a sell-off or a correction, but you have to stay level-headed, folks. You have to understand certain tiers in support and resistance, and I identified them in the video. If you want to go back and take a look, please do so. But clearly, last week, we could have made, I did very well along with a lot of other traders. I identified this area here, this candle, 38.11. I identified this candle's low of 38.43. I've also identified this candle's low of 39.51. And basically what I did was I played the back inside. You know, these areas here are major support areas, as you can see. And, you know, they become resistance after they break. So just like I play a break of the previous week's high candle's resistance, I play the support and resistance the same way. So what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for a break of 46.16. If we can break 46.16, I am going to be taking this trade. Now, I don't know if NIO's going to pull back tomorrow. I have no idea. It can break 41.66, which was last month's low again. It could actually come down all the way to the you know, last week's low, which was identified at 34.90. But again, I'm looking for a break of any one of these levels. So even if NIO were to break last month's low of 41.66, hold and maybe reclaim and go back inside, again, I take that trade. So folks, I'm very defensive when I trade. I identify to the penny the area. So last week's high, 46.16. So let's just say we break 46.16, okay? 46.16 now I identified as a break, and 46.16 becomes my support. If NIO comes back inside and breaks the 46.16 area, the support, you can get out, okay? It really didn't cost you anything. So, but again, NIO, those are the areas. 46.16, last week's high candle. That's the area I'm looking at. Next stock on the watch list, let's see here, is AMD. Okay, AMD, let me just show you the weekly. So here you have it. We've got an inside week on AMD. Okay, I love playing those inside weeks. Inside weeks, what they mean is, the inside week means that the candle did not break the previous high, wasn't strong enough to break the previous high, and wasn't strong enough to break the previous low. Okay, so basically, we have an inside week here. I am looking for a break of 81.89. I think AMD could do it. There's a lot of good things going on in the market. I feel that these stimulus checks now are getting into people's hands, and eventually I think they're going to make their way into the market. I really do. So again, I do not have a crystal ball. I do not know, but AMD, I identified 81.89 as the break area of last week's high. I've also identified the low as of 73.86. That was last week's low on AMD. And also you've got a monthly low here, 79.36. So even if AMD, again, comes back, breaks this 79.36, holds, and then reclaims, I am going to play those breaks, okay? So again, don't forget, you got to draw the previous month's high, the previous month's low, the previous week's high, as you can see on this candle, the previous week's low, and then wait for the break. It's that simple. It's really not complicated at all, okay? So we've got AMD. Next, NET. I like NET, okay? NET, we also had an inside week on NET. That's Cloudflare Inc., okay? We've got an inside week. It actually closed very high to last week's high. So the close was 76.30. Last week's high is 76.78, okay? I am looking for a break of 76.78 and taking net long. But again, if it comes back, even breaks 70.57, which was net's last month's February low, it come down. We don't know, folks. Okay, so it's important that you identify these areas and understand them well. The next stock on our watch list is ARCT. ARCT also had an inside week. Inside weeks are weeks of indecision. It means the bulls and the bears are kind of fighting each other, looking for a direction, okay? So on an inside week, you don't play inside weeks. If we stay inside, you don't play them. Why? You're basically going to get chopped around, okay? So you want to wait for the break. Right now, I am identifying the break of 53.20. 53.20 is the break on ARCT. I want to see a clear break of 53.20, knowing that 53.20 then becomes my support. And if ARCT comes back down and breaks that 53.20 level, I just get out. Now, mind you, excuse me, ARCT has a daily ATR, which is the average trading range of stock moves on a daily basis of $5.42. So this is definitely not for the faint of heart. You don't need a lot of ARCT to make good money, okay? You also don't need a lot of ARCT to lose a lot of money. So be careful, okay? As you can clearly see on the daily chart here, there's a tremendous amount of support. There's also going to be a tremendous amount of resistance right about this area here. But we're still far away, okay? ARCT's had a tremendous pullback. And now let's see if it's going to start marching forward, okay? But again, 53.20 is the break going long. Last month's low was 48.80, so look for that area as well. We could easily break 48.80, hold, and then reclaim and break that 48.80 again, marching upward. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the next stock on our list is Ostk Overstock. Okay, let's take a look at the weekly. Okay, here you have it. We've got an inside week, another inside week. A lot of inside weeks last week, boy, oh boy. A lot of inside weeks after the big drop. So I've identified the weekly high as $72.89 on OSTK. and I am looking for a break of that area. Okay, but again, folks, we don't know. You have to kind of wait and see what happens. Are we going to break 72.89? Are we going to not break it? Maybe pull back? This line here, the yellow line, 66.61, that's last month's low. We could easily break that to the downside. Okay, so again, just be patient, wait, okay, and don't just jump in. Next on our list, this is a friend of mine that he owns this stock, Fcel. The symbol is FCEL. Sandro, this is for you. It's a shout out to my good buddy Sandro and my friend Eddie. They're both in Fcel right now. I like Fcel. It had a really nice weekly run last week, but again, we have an inside week. I think Fcel can start running. We need to break $18.60 for it to go anywhere, folks. Anywhere. For Fcel to go, it has to break $18.60. If it doesn't, it's going to be inside again, and what we're going to do is just get chopped up, okay? But I like Fcel, and let me see here on the daily. I like the daily on it. See how it's important to really understand your support and resistance? You know, when the stock is all the way up here at $29.44, everything's hunky-dory, and, you know, people are actually buying up this level. You really got to be careful. You got to make sure that things aren't overextended in certain ways, and you really have to identify when a stock pulls back a tiered tactical system of supports. Okay, so when somebody contacts me, if a hedge fund gentleman contacts me and says, "Hey, Mr. Magoo, what do you think of Apple? You know, it's dropping. Where do you think it's going?" I have to clearly identify those steps and stages. And as you can see here, if you don't understand support and resistance, I strongly advise you to learn. If you have any questions, you can always email me, hunterchasetrading@gmail.com. Just leave a comment below. And if you have a stock that you like and you want me to take a look at it, by all means, I will. I'll give you my opinion on it. I am not a financial advisor. I've been doing this for over 2 decades, and I've done well doing it. But again, you know, it's very, very important for you guys to all understand this. But clearly, Fcel did find the support, and it found the support on the high of this candle back on November the 24th. Which was a high of $11.31. I clearly saw it, and as soon as it hit it, it actually got down to 11.07. So imagine this, folks. You've got a high of 11.31. It came right back down to 11.07, just a couple pennies lower, and before it reclaimed and went back above. Now, if you knew how to play support and resistance, you can easily play the break of this candle's high of 11.31. So let's say, for example, on March the 5th, when Fcel broke the 11.31 massive support, and then it started marching back up, you could have actually gotten in at 11.31 on the break, okay, and played this beautiful ride all the way up to 18.16 that it closed on Friday. That's a lot of money, okay, in a very, very short period of time. But I like Fcel. Again, 18.60 is the break, and then the next area that I see that might have some resistance is 19.12, and then the following area is going to be right there, 20.94. That's going to be the next resistance on Fcel. Okay, so FCEL, that is the symbol. Next, but that's the last one. It's the stock number 7. It's XL. Also an affordable, very affordable stock. As you can see, it was as high as $35 back on December the 24th, and all it's been doing is coming completely down. But what did I see? I saw support in this area right here, and that's exactly where we came to, okay? So now, let's see if this support holds and starts running again, but I clearly identified, let me take a look at the weekly. Here you have it. Again, another inside week. So a break of $12.98 will get me in. Mind you now, just be very careful. You've got a weekly high to deal with of $12.98. And then you've got last month's low to deal with, which is $13.31. So there will be resistance there at $13.31. Okay? So just be careful from that. If it does break $13.31, you're still in it, and you want to shed some off, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with putting some money in your pocket, knowing that $13.31 then is going to be support. I was looking at some of the banks. I was looking at some of the travel. I was looking at some of the airlines. I feel that they're going to continue running. The reason they're not on my list right now is because I think they've had a decent run, and many of them are extended, in my opinion. So they're coming up against exhaustion risk. I'll show you an example. Here you have, Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines has had one spectacular run. It looks like it wants to break this $50.20. Was it 50? Yeah, 50.20. It could easily get there, and we could see another leg up. But at the same time, for me, I'm gonna wait a little bit just to see what happens next week. They could continue running. That would be great. We did have a pullback here. Found some support and started running again. So, you know what? If it breaks 50.20, chances are I think I'm going to even take the trade. Doesn't look that bad. Knowing that 50.20, though, is going to be my support. So, again, folks, these are areas you have to identify. Very, very important. You have to trade tactically. You have to trade with discipline. And there's got to be a reason for you to get in. You just don't get in. You just don't FOMO in. Okay? Usually people that do that wind up getting really hurt. There's no such thing as, catching a falling knife either. When stocks come down in price, you have to wait. Let them settle. Don't anticipate that it's just the end of the move and it's not going to go any lower. They have to find support along the way. And you could identify the support by looking back to the left. The left is always going to dictate your right. The past is always going to dictate your future. So anytime a stock is dropping, what I do is I go back to the past. So I'll even go as far as a 5-year chart. Okay, I'll go to a 5-year chart and I'll take a look at the past and see where major areas of support are. I might even go to a 10-year chart. Here's a 10-year monthly chart, as you can see. Okay, what do? I go back to the past, and I clearly see where massive areas of resistance are over a 10-year period. These charts, folks, they hold a lot of weight, okay? That's why I only like playing the monthly and weekly candle breaks, okay? I like playing them because they hold a lot more weight. A monthly candle holds a lot more weight than a weekly. The weekly candle holds a lot more weight than a daily. The daily candle holds a lot more weight than an hourly candle. So that's how I play. I'm conservative in my approach. But again, if you take a look at Delta Airlines, what do you see? Well, you clearly see there's a bunch of resistance up in this area. And guess where we're at? We're there right now. We're almost there right now. So you never know. We could have a little bit of a pullback here. Okay? So again, it's not something that I would be jumping into right now. For those of you that did ask me about the airline industry, I'm not saying it's not going to continue either. But at the same time, for me, we've had a run. We've had a decent run, and I think it's best to just sit, wait, and see what happens. Okay? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I hope you're enjoying the rest of your Sunday. I'm going to put this out on the YouTube right now. And folks, happy trading. Be safe, and have a great day. Take care.